What is up, beautiful people? Welcome once again to hellohnclothing. Welcome to another wonderful tutorial. In this video, we're going to learn how to make all these beautiful illusion necklines. Guys, illusion necklines are still trending. Fashion is dynamic, fashion is evolving. We actually had illusion necklines tutorials earlier on this channel, right? I'm going to leave links to those videos in the iClouds and also leave them in the description box so that you can check them out if you were not a part of the family at that time. So right now we're going to be doing more illusion necklines, more complicated ones, okay? So if this is something you'll be interested in, please to keep on watching. We're going to be drafting. I'll explain how to also sew in this video. Before we begin, I just thought to mention that our November support group registration is ongoing now, okay? For this October, in our support group, we are currently doing this corset, and it is a Sew With Me challenge. Guys, it's been awesome. See, all the questions have been asked and we are having answers. They're learning. Also, just know that apart from the sophisticated style we're going to be looking at, every other member has the privilege to drop questions, pictures of what they do not understand, and we give thorough, wonderful, broken down explanations. So please don't miss signing up for November's group. You can start right now. WhatsApp number right on the screen, okay? As we have discussed all of that, let us get right into the business of the day. Okay guys, we are ready. For this video, I have all my pattern papers. These two are in the half length. Since the illusion necklines is mostly in the front, so I have this front illusion necklines. These are two dresses, two half lengths that will just attach the bottom part of the dress to. So let's start with illusion one, the very first neckline we'll be looking at. All right, so we're going to start with this very first illusion style. For this illusion style, we need to close up the shoulder darts and then transfer it to the armhole dart, okay? Why are we closing up the shoulder darts? There is nothing, the illusion goes up onto the neckline, and we can see that there's no seam line on the neckline. So if you have a pattern or you're using a pattern that has a shoulder dart, please just cut through and close it up. I'm going to just extend the cutting of the shoulder darts beyond that shoulder tip and get to the bust line, and then I'm going to use my paper tape to close it up. So once you close up this dart, you find out that the shoulder dart does not meet anymore. We then need to draw a new line from this tip to touch this tip, okay? Because this is what the shoulder dart is before, straight line. But by the time you close up the dart, it never meets no more. That's why I left that excess initially there. And then I'm just going to go to my mid armhole. I can use the chest line and then just draw a straight line from that mid armhole to that tip of the shoulder dart. Okay, so from here to about there. Okay, once I do that, I'll just then cut open to relax. Do the same thing at that part. Cut, close, transfer the dart, cut just a little lower than where it stopped, close up, amazing. Now it relaxes. The next thing we're going to do is to do our underbust tightening. So for your underbust tightening, you're going to be measuring from your neckline, from this top here to where your underbust gets to. and mine is about 13.5 inches. So I'm just going to draw a line at that point, and that will be my under bust line. Okay, great. So this is my under bust line. I'm going to do the tightening on that part. I'm going to tighten by 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch. 1/2 inch is okay, depending on how much you want to take in. You're tightening towards the side seam. Do the same thing here. 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch. Then you want to just use your curved ruler to join up this point here. So you're drawing the bust curve from this new armhole that you're drawing the bust curve there, and you're connecting it to that under bust tightening you have there. Good. So for this other one too, and you're connecting it to that part, to this part here. So do the same thing here. You're drawing your bust curve, okay, and you're connecting it to that on the bust tightening. Same thing here. Okay, so it can go all the way down, like straight down, to get to that part. Once I have done that, just rule a straight line down, connect it back here. Why am I getting to the hip? Sometimes you make some styles and you see that you have excess at that groin area. You see some fabric poking out. So this dart extension actually takes care of such puckering going on there. Okay, now that we have done this, the next thing, just draw your normal neckline that you have. So my pattern comes with a 3 by 3 inches neckline. I'm going to cut it out. So once you're done with this, the next thing you want to do is actually determine how low you want it to get to. So you can just draw like a sweetheart neckline. Okay, so I'm going to close it so it's going to be easy for me to draw my sweetheart neckline. I'm going to draw my sweetheart neckline from about here, and I'll just go drawing the sweetheart neckline. You can use your curved ruler to draw a very good sweetheart neckline. I'm going to let the sweetheart neckline get to about that bust point there. Okay, so this is it here for me to so that is the sweetheart neckline. Let me highlight it properly. I'm using a blue marker to highlight the sweetheart neckline. So this is the neckline we're going to be using as a guide to draw that illusion line we can see in the middle. From here, you're just going to go on to do the illusion style design. So this is the midpoint, this is the line of symmetry. From here, I'm just going to go you can have something like this, right? And then it goes all the way down into the hip line. So for this other side too, it's coming all the way. It's about the same width from the top, so please just look at it very well. If the width is not the same, try to make it the same. And it goes into the waistline that way. Okay, so I'm just going to use the red marker to then highlight. So from here, it's going, and here. And for this other one too, it's coming all the way. and then there. So that is what we'll be having. For this part, we can then cut out what we have here, cutting out the mesh. That's the mesh area. For this other one too, cutting out the mesh area. Okay, so for this one, you can then go on to cut off this part. Okay, so you can, when you're cutting on fabric and you cut this part, you can then sew that part close to form that that part of your fabric. For this other one too, I'm cutting here. This one thankfully has been separated, so it's not going to be difficult working with this. So remember to label your patterns. Remember to draw your grain lines. For this part, you're going to be closing up that dart. I can cut through. This is the dart area I'm cutting through, and then I'm just going to place this side on it. If it doesn't meet up, put paper under. So place it to close the dart up. Okay, once I place it, you can see that it's it will not match, right? Because there's a dart there. Close it up. Once it doesn't match, either you put paper under, don't trim out, just put paper under and redraw. So I'm closing it here so that the up part matches up. For the lower part, just get a piece of paper. I'm going to put this paper here. Yeah, so that's about it, guys. This is what it is. Here is our illusion. Let me shade so we know that that's the net area. That's the net area, the illusion area. Okay, this is the net area. This part, draw your grain lines and your notch marks. Draw your grain lines, label. Draw your grain lines and label. So this one is one piece as it is. Okay, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And then when you're going to be cutting, this could be your notch points, right? That will be joining up here. Notch this areas, notch this areas, notch this areas. Okay, and you're cutting one of each. This one you're cutting one piece. This one you're cutting one. Here you're cutting one, and here you're cutting one. I hope you get the gist. Let's move on to style number 2. Alright guys, so for this style, this is very easy. There's an illusion yoke, right? And then there's a bustier. Okay, so we're going to be starting with the chest line. We're going to use the chest line as a guide. Let's start from the chest line to actually draw what we need to draw. We're just going to be doing like an S, guys. Basically, that's what we're just going to do. So I'm going to use my pencil, draw an S. Okay, remember, even when it covers the boobs from this chest line here, if you don't want it to cover as much as this, please just reduce your hand. When it covers the boobs, and then you're going inwards towards the dart. From there, then you're going to come like a U to the center seam. So basically, this is it, guys. This is what you are going to be doing for this particular style. Now, once you have done this, you're going to be doing any other thing like tightening the shoulder dart, cutting off the upper part, that's the yoke part, and every other single thing like that. So let's quickly do all of that for this part. So for this one, we're coming from here. You can say, oh, you don't want it to what they call this, like straight, sharp, straight. You can go up a little and just curve it, sort of. So let me explain what I mean. You need to first have the outline in your head of this design, which is basically like an S. Okay, I'm going to use a tracing wheel to trace it on the other side so that it shows. Okay, if you want to mark styles to then show up on the other side, use your tracing wheel. Okay, so once you're done with that, open it up. You can see the curve. Just use your marker or your pencil. Oh, I've gone to overcurve, sorry. And then from here, this is such a beautiful neckline. It's just let your hand be accurate, don't overdo it. Okay, so once you have done this right, you can then go on to cut off this part. This whole part will be the yoke, but don't worry, we've not even finished up yet. Cut away the neckline, because most illusion necklines, because it's like an illusion, there's always like a high neck up there. Okay, cut that, and then you can cut this. Okay, so just follow it. Make sure you're cutting it nicely and neatly. So this part can actually be joined to your dress. This is what the upper part, the illusion part, will be like. Now for this other side, you want to go ahead to do your bustier. That's connect this part to this part, tighten up. Whatever you're doing in bustier, you want to tighten up, especially for this part. Now you're going to be tightening up here. You're going to be going in by half an inch here, going by half an inch here, then tighten up this part by half inch and half inch. Okay, do the same thing here, going by half an inch on the under bust, and then tighten up the chest. Okay, so that it gives it that lift, right? So let me show you, after doing all your tightening, what you should have. So just connect it to that part, then connect it here, then finally connect it here, and then it's not even finally, then use a straight ruler to draw it straight line here to straight line. So for this other part, connect it, connect it here, and then connect it here. Okay, great. So we're going to cut off that part and then do any form of shaping that we need to. So I'm cutting here off, right? Cutting this part off. So cutting here off too, cutting the dots away. So where you're going to be joining this, you see it's not matching up, put paper and fill it up. Just put paper and fill up so that it matches nicely. Okay, So this is the part that will be joined with this part here. Was so tiny. Match it up together there. Okay, because you don't want to lose that part. So very good. So this part will join up with this part here. So you want to do the same thing you have just done there. Okay, tighten up this shoulder part, tighten it up. Then go in here, go straight down. Same thing here. Tighten up as well. And then you can cut it out. The bottom part will just be the skirt part of the dress that you'll be attaching. Very good. So you don't want it to fall out like I let it fall out here. On this part, it's just going to be together. Now this part, we are done with the main fabric side. I'll just use a paper tape to hold there. You see how tiny that thing is? It's like it's hanging by a string of thread. So let me just wrap it. It doesn't just fall out. Okay. Great. Now that we have this, now. Great. Moving on to the top part of the dress, close up the darts. You can just close up the dart this way. Okay. Once you close it up, use paper tape to hold it together in place. Okay. And then draw a new shoulder line. Cut off the excess. For this part here, put paper and fill it up. See, because it's not matching up. Put paper, fill it up. And then we can draw it up. You can draw it up back there. Okay, you can draw it up back there. So cut off that extra. Do the same thing for the other side. Close up the darts. Draw a new shoulder line. You can go below a little so it's not poking so much. Okay, you see that it's not matching. Put paper and fill up. Beautiful. So this is actually what we have for this wonderful style we're having here. This part is your illusion net mesh or illusion net part. You're cutting one, then cut on fold, cut one, cut one, cut one, and cut one. So let's label this pattern 1, pattern, okay, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So we have 4 patterns for this style. Another thing you want to do here, I saw this and I remember that we didn't check here. So you want to check and match up nicely. Put paper under. So this is what we are having. Okay guys, so for this one we are going to be removing the darts, the waist darts, and closing up the shoulder darts. Once we close up the shoulder darts, just transfer it to your true bust darts. Okay, true bust, that's the under bust darts, right? Close up the shoulder dart, transfer it to your under bust dart, okay, which is on the true bust line, and then remove the waist darts from both sides of the waist. So let's quickly do that. Now you want to put paper here, as that will be your new dart line for this part. We're not going to be doing any princess dart. Put paper there, that will be the bust that you're going to be joining up, and then remove this waist dart on the side seams. I'll measure what I have here, about 1.5 inches. Come here and remove 1.5 inches. Come here and remove 1.5 inches as well, because it's going to be the same thing. You're going to be taking the 1.5 inch all the way to this part here, and then from there all the way to the hip line. Okay, so let it get to the hip line. Same thing here, up and to the hip line. Here, slant it into the hip line. You don't want it sharp anyway, make sure you curve. Make sure you curve, don't make it sharp. Cut it out. So this doesn't exist anymore. Doesn't exist anymore. Same thing here, doesn't exist anymore. Great, so let's put paper under this bust dart. Okay, so the new dart line from here, from that tip here, you want to go in by 1 inch and okay, so just measure 1 inch away from that tip and draw your new dart line. Great, now that we have this is almost done, we're almost done. This is only the darts we are having on this body. So now we can then decide, we can then draw in our style line. I'll be using a pencil to draw in the line, starting from this top part here. I'm going to use a pencil to just be like a guide for me. Okay, then it goes straight this way. Then from there it goes towards the bust line here, and it comes this way, and then you know the navel will just be somewhere around here. This is where the navel will be. So it comes this way, and then it goes all the way down, all the way down here, and then it goes this way. Okay, remember the dots do not exist anymore. Once it comes this way, then it goes this way. We can see we have something going on. And then straight here, coming up a little. Then let's go on to draw the next one. It's going slanted, right? Goes this way, right? And then you see that it comes to cover the bust area, so it comes slanted, covering the bust area. And then we see it goes this way. That's why we had to remove the dots, so that we can have room to do this. Okay, so for this other one now, it needs to come lower than that. So you're coming lower, come lower, go straight, and then it's like almost meeting up like this, and then it goes to join that part. So we can just possibly extend this. So this is what we have there. I'm then going to use my marker and highlights. So from here, it goes this way, and then like this way, like this. That's how you have to cut it too. You're cutting it on the mesh this way. This is how you have to cut it. You're going to be recreating this style. Okay, this one now, part of the boobs will be showing because it's going deep inwards. If you don't want part of the boobs to show, then make sure you come out a little more. And then it goes this way, and then it goes this way, and then it goes this way, and then comes up to join here. So this is how the dress is going to be looking by the time we cut off. Let's cut it off because we actually need to cut it off, and it's going to be sewn separately. So this one actually needs a lot of precision and skill, and something I'll even advise, don't even make it sharp. Like, try and curve it as much as possible when you're sewing. Don't make it too sharp, like curve. Curving as you're getting to the end. Curve as you're getting to the end. Curve, curve, curve. Curve. Okay, so let me come and do this here. Okay, so this part, the main fabric part, will be just one piece. You do not need to separate anything, and this will just be the illusion part. Okay, yeah, so let me shade it as the illusion. So this is the main fabric, this is the illusion. Your navel is covered here, boobs will be showing here, but here, fine, looking good. All right guys, so that's about it. That is about it, guys. All right guys, we have come to the end of this wonderful tutorial. I know it may be a bit overwhelming, it may be like a lot to take in at once, but the truth of the matter is practice makes perfect. Okay, you just have to keep practicing to get better at your craft. I cannot overemphasize that. Just make sure you keep practicing, guys. We've come to the end of this tutorial, like I said, and if you have any questions, please leave them down in the comment section below. Do not forget to subscribe if you're yet to. Give me a huge thumbs up if you have not, and yeah, till we see you in the next tutorial. Stay safe, God bless you all. Bye.